You are tuned to Anubhav 2.0 podcast from senior citizens, catalyzed and supported by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India, through National Institutes for Social Defense and Media for Community Foundation. The project is conceived and designed by Dr. R. Sridhar and supported by Ashish Tiwari, Pooja Murada, Sai Sudha, and Kaushalya.
Hello listeners, greetings from Covaivani. We have with us today a much loved professor who takes us down memory lane, painting a picture before us of a young graduate entering the portals of the University of Roorkee, his alma mater, which he cherishes to this day. Professor Rao is an alumnus of the National Institute of Engineering, Mysore, where he graduated in civil engineering and later did his postgraduate studies and research in geotechnical engineering from the University of Roorkee, now IIT Roorkee, and also served there as a professor for many years. He devised the first teacher evaluation form for getting feedback from students. He also introduced a group discussion course in the curriculum which served to help students to improve their communication skills. He was the chief sports advisor and president of the faculty club for many years. He was the recipient of the Khosla Medal and the Union Ministry of Irrigation Award for his research papers. He was an elected member of the Executive Committee of the Indian Geotechnical Society for 3 terms and also served as the president of the Roorkee chapter of the IGS. He is a life fellow of the IGS and a life member of the Institution of Engineers India. Having authored many technical papers in national and international journals, he has been a consultant for more than 50 projects in both public and private sectors in India. His reviews, which appear in Facebook on the latest sports event and all other activities, are very much looked forward to by everyone. Over to Professor Rao.
Sometimes good things in your life happen just by chance, served on a platter, so to speak. It was serendipity that took a 19-year-old me to Roorkee some 67 years back to do my postgraduate studies in civil engineering at the famed University of Roorkee, now IIT Roorkee. It's the oldest engineering institution in India, its origins going back to 1847. I am grateful for the lucky break, for it made me an alumnus of this pedigreed institution with a hoary heritage. And when this university accepted me later into the faculty, I was indeed doubly blessed. Through this podcast, go back down the memory lane to relive some moments which happened within a span of a few days after I landed in the campus on a muggy summer day of 1958. The memories are fresh even today, even after so many summers. The reminiscences serve to showcase the values that my alma mater stood for. Indeed, the very ethos of University of Roorkee, and vindicated my belief that I had indeed made the right choice. The serendipity that I spoke of, that took me and 3 of my Mysore College classmates to Roorkee, some 2,700 kilometers away, came in the form of a strong counseling from one S.H. Nagaraja, who was himself about to complete his postgraduate studies in Roorkee. He was forthright when he said, Roorkee is different, it has a rich heritage, it has character. The professors there are friendly and informal, even if hard taskmasters. If you go there, you will never regret your decision. He was 1 year senior to us at the Mysore College, known to us, and his words carried weight. The 4 of us decided in favor of Roorkee for our postgraduate studies. Happily, we got admission to the master's programs. V.V.S. Rao in highway engineering, Y.R. Nagaraja and S.S. Subramaniam in photogrammetric engineering, and me in geotechnical engineering. The classes were to begin from September 1st, Monday, if I believe it, and all four of us landed in Delhi on Friday, 29th August, after a marathon 50-hour journey by train. We made inquiries and found that buses to Roorkee were available from UP Roadways bus stand at Ajmeri Gate. We were told to take a fatfati to take us there. Fatfati? What animal was that? A fatfati turned out to be a noisy three-wheeled contraption open on all sides, designed to carry 6 to 8 passengers, an iconic part of Old Delhi's transport history post World War II. We were already a part of history. At the bus stand, when we asked for tickets to Roorkee, the gentleman at the ticket counter asked me, "A Parya lawyer?" I was flummoxed. I looked out but couldn't see any double-deckers around. We couldn't make ourselves understood due to our poor Hindi skills, and the counter chap was asking, "Jaldi karo, jaldi karo." A kindly middle-aged gentleman who was watching us struggle walked up to us and explained, thankfully in English, that every bus had at its front end a few seats reserved, and these had a little more seating space and legroom that made travel more comfortable. They were priced higher, but he advised us to take them and helped us procure the ticket. We thanked him, and we, the friendly man included, boarded the bus leaving for Roorkee. When we got down at the Roorkee bus stand, after a tedious 6-hour journey, we were confronted by cycle rickshaws lined up. Again, a first time for us. And their drivers asking us where we wanted to go. We only knew we had to report to the Govind Bhavan, but didn't have a clue about the distance or location. Once again, our friendly gentleman came to our rescue and offered to accompany us to the hostel. He brushed aside our protestations, saying, "You are our guests, and I am glad to be of help." He talked to the rickshawalas, and all of us sat gingerly in the rickshaws, and after a 5-minute trip, reached Govind Bhavan, the hostel. The chief warden, Dr. Bharatram Agarwal, was expecting us. In fact, a large contingent of postgraduate students was arriving on the day. Our friendly benefactor seemed to know Dr. Agarwal rather well, for he said, "Bhai Agarwal, I am handing over these young students to your charge. Take good care of them." We were surprised and ashamed that we hadn't even asked him his name. When he was about to leave, we profusely thanked him and then asked him his name. He said, "I am N.L. Gupta, reader in mechanical engineering." We were stunned. Here was a senior teacher at UOR, and he was hand-holding us, the newbies, all the while, unasked, and making us feel comfortable. Chief Warden Dr. B.R. Agarwal quickly allotted us our rooms in the PG wing of Govind Bhavan, facing the University Hospital, which was marked exclusively for postgraduate students. Dr. Agarwal then went on to do something wonderful. He attached one final year degree student of Govind Bhavan with each of us. Mr. S.C. Atri was attached with me. Agarwal sir said to Atri, "You must accompany Mr. Rao to the ES mess this evening and help him adjust to our university traditions. Tomorrow, you will take him round the campus and show him the civil engineering department, the university bakery and canteen, and help him shop for essentials in civil lines. Remember, he is new to the campus, he is your guest and your senior." How thoughtful was that? And so Atri took his advice seriously. He politely introduced me into the tricky world of forks, spoons, and knives when we sat down for dinner at the ES mess. Also introduced me to the owner of the novelty stores in civil lines, Mr. Sethi, who became a friend of mine in my later years in Roorkee. Atri would always begin with sir, sir, whenever he spoke to me, even after I asked him to stop doing that. But then, deference to a senior was a strong tradition those days, and it came naturally to him. Once, while we were dining, one boy at our table who had finished eating looked at me and asked my permission to leave. I said, "Of course, why do you ask me?" Atri quickly intervened and told me that it was Thomsonian tradition always to seek permission from the senior-most student at the table before leaving. That was the first time I heard the word Thomsonian mentioned. The alumnus of Roorkee are proud to call themselves Thomsonians. My first day in the campus was my first brush with the famed camaraderie and hospitality of the University of Roorkee, personified by people like Professor N.L. Gupta, Professor B.R. Agarwal, and S.C. Atri. Professor Agarwal became my teacher too and taught me the course on soil chemistry, and we maintained a very cordial relationship. I was to meet Atri 25 years later when he came to Roorkee to celebrate his silver jubilee of graduation. I was then the undergraduates club advisor and was officially entertaining the jubilee batch students at the club. I played a game of billiards with Atri, reminiscing about old days when he was entertaining me. The highlight of my second day at the campus was the dinner at the ES mess. ES stands for Engineering Students. Saturday dinner at ES mess was a grand affair where everything, the dress, all whites, the footwear, leather shoes, the etiquette, even the dinner courses was formal. The door to the mess would open just 5 minutes before 7 p.m. in summer months and closed exactly at 7 p.m., not a minute later. If you missed your entry, you have missed your dinner. That's it. There were bearers, head bearers, and the major domo, the butler, who was the boss to help conduct the formal affair of eating. "You are allowed to talk in whispers, please," the butler Puran Singh ensured through some mysterious signaling from table bearers that everyone had gotten seated, and then gave his go ahead with a swish of his white serviette and saying, "The dinner is served." The dinner would end with his signal again after every table was done with eating. The menu was lavish, and there was a dessert. Rasmalai was to die for, and the Kaju coffee service coming at the end would be the finale. Every Thomsonian you ever met would argue that the Saturday night dinner at ES Mess was the ultimate, the best in the business among all elitist institutes in the country. I was impressed with my first Saturday night dinner. The sea of whites in the large mess hall was an awesome sight, and the punctuality, without exception, respecting the authority of the butler who was in charge of the event, discipline while being seated, following the dress code, were all lessons imbibed by the young would-be officers. After sumptuous breakfast on Sunday morning at the ES mess, I went to visit another popular landmark on the campus, the ES Club. A popular film song, "Ye Mera Deewanapan Hai," was blaring on the record player as I entered the club. The club had a lounge, indoor games facilities, a reading room, and a small library too. But the billiard tables were the star attractions and immediately caught my attention. Mangal Ram, the marker, was an institution by himself. Every student from about 1920 to 1974, he died in 1972, would remember him. He was the monarch of all he surveyed and kept a zealous eye not only on the green baize but on everything in the club. His control was absolute. His word was law. He warned 5 minutes before closing time, shouting, "Sorry." Everyone made haste to leave. But if anyone lingered, a shout of "double sorry" would do the trick. He taught me to play billiards, and I am happy I didn't disappoint him. I represented the university in the Olympics against BEG and helped in starting the Mangalram Memorial Billiards Tournament in his memory. Monday, September 1st, the red letter day, I reached the Civil Engineering Department to attend my very first lecture. It is on mathematics, taught by Professor Chandrika Prasad, a senior professor and a very popular teacher. I was all excited. It was a common course for all postgraduate students of different departments, and there was a big contingent of part-time master students too, drawn from serving teachers of my university and officers from Irrigation Research Institute and Central Building Research Institute too. I couldn't identify most of them, of course. They were all in their 30s. But I was told later that Professor Rajendra Prakash and Professor C.P. Gupta sir, both from Mechanical Engineering Department, Shamshed Prakash ji and Hari Mishra sir from Civil Engineering Department, all very senior teachers, were among the students in that class. There was a lot of informal conviviality and camaraderie among them and Chandrika Prasad sir, and it was a revelation to me who hadn't seen anything like that before. Earlier, I had even seen two of these stalwarts among students, C.P. Gupta sir and Hari Mishra sir, breezing into the classroom with a cloud of smoke from just extinguished cigarettes following them. These Thomsonians certainly know how to live it up. What a first day, first classroom experience to us, the freshmen. Chandrika Prasad sir was an excellent teacher, of course. He became a mentor in many ways to me in later years. So was Shamshed Prakash ji, who was doing his master's in geotechnical engineering part-time at that time, the same specialty as mine. Maths lessons learnt, of course, but the invaluable lesson to me was that you could learn well even without any kind of artificial barriers. That was the true Roorkee spirit. These are events that happened in just 4 days, but they tell you the big story. I have been fortunate to serve my alma mater for 35 years. My alma mater and my Karma Bhumi, the University of Roorkee, IIT now, they have been powerful shapers of my character, providing opportunities for learning, growth, and social interaction. Work hard, shramam vina nakimapi sadhyam is the university motto, and play hard have been the Bij mantra of university always. The ability and confidence to cope with challenges, the ability to build relationships with colleagues and friends, and social skills, all born out of the Roorkee ethos. Thanks to my colleagues and administrators who have gifted to me liberally. Ma Tujhe Salaam.
Thank you, Professor Rao, for reliving your experiences as a student. I am sure listeners would have enjoyed your podcast. Signing off till we meet again with another episode is Revati Bhaskar.
You were listening to Covaivani podcasts from S3 Kovai Care, Coimbatore. Please contact 14567. I repeat, 14567 Elderline Helpline during working hours for any assistance relating to senior citizens. Thank you.